is brilliantmaths.com, where every student has an opportunity to excel in math. Have you subscribed to our website yet? Do so. There are lots and lots of resources on the site, materials that you can use to excel in math. Subscribe to the modules, lots of practice. You'll actually see yourself improve if you subscribe. Today, we're looking at consumer arithmetic, compound interest, and depreciation. With compound interest, the interest is added to the principal. We discussed simple interest in the last video. If you haven't seen that video, go get it. So here, the interest is added to the principal, thereby increasing it. That means your principal keeps increasing every year. So by the end of the first year, the interest is added to the principal to start the second year, and so on. So every year, your principal increases, and that means that your interest also increases. The formula for calculating compound interest and depreciation are given below, where A stands for the amount after T, where T is the number of years, P stands for the principal, R stands for the rate per year. For compound interest, the amount is equal to the principal times the bracket 1 plus rate over 100 to power T. Remember, A is the amount, P is the principal. 1 represents the fact that you had that amount for the first year. But every year, it is added. So that's why we have 1 plus R over 100 to power T, where T is the number of years. But for depreciation, you have the same formula, but the difference is in compound interest, we're adding, is increasing, but in depreciation, we're subtracting because it is depreciating. The amount is getting smaller. Let's look at an example. Let's do this example together. £950 is invested for 7 years at 9% per annum compound interest. First, calculate the amount accruing at the end of the 7 years. And then, secondly, how much interest was earned during the 7 years. So we have two tasks here. We're supposed to calculate the amount at the end of 7 years and find how much of that amount was actually earned as interest. So let's look at the parameters we have been given. Let's look at the information we have been given. We have the principal is £950. We got that from the question. The rate is 9% per annum, and the time is 7 years. So we'll put all that down now. P is 950, R is 9%, and T is equal to 7 years. The first question is to find the amount after 7 years, and we have the formula. We have that A is equal to P into 1 plus R over T to power 10. So A is equal to the principal, which is 950 pounds into 1 plus R is the rate, which is 9%. So we have 9 over 100 to power T. T is the time, which is 7 years. So with the calculator, we know that 1 plus 9 over 100 is equal to 1.09. Because 9 over 100 is 0.09 to power 7. So let's input this into the calculator. We have £950 times 1.09 0.09 to the power 7. And that gives us 1,736.63. So that's the amount after 7 years. So next, the second question is, how much interest was earned during the 7 years? We know that the interest will be the amount, take away the principal. So interest is equal to A minus P, leaving it as short as that. So that will give us 1,736.63 minus 950 pounds. And that will give us 786 pounds 64. So the amount earned as interest during that period was 786 pounds 64. Just take your time and do more of this. Let's look at an example involving depreciation. In this example, we want to calculate depreciation. A car originally worth $42,900 depreciates at a rate of 12% per annum. Find its value at the end of 4 years. So the question is saying that the original worth of the car is $42,900. So that means that's the principal. All right? And then the rate of depreciation is 12%. So we want to find the value of that car after 4 years. We all know that assets depreciate over time. So that's the principle we're using here. Let's try to remember the formula. How do we calculate depreciation? We said that the amount is equal to the principal times 1 minus the rate of depreciation, R, over 100. We're used to writing capital R, so let's leave it at that. All raised to the power of t, where t is the time. So next, we're going to input the values into the formula. So that gives us our P is $42,900. $42,900. 1 minus, the rate is 12. 12 over 100 to the power of t. So this will be equal to 1 minus 12 over 100. 12 over 100 is 0.12. So 1 minus 0.12 would give us 0.88. So we'll simply write 42,900 times 0.88 to power t. T is 4. So that's that to power 4. So we input this into the calculator. 0.88 to power 4. 0.88 to power 4 times 42,900. So the answer is 25,726.93. So that means that after 4 years, the car is now worth $25,726 approximately. The car has depreciated. And you can take a next step and calculate the depreciation by subtracting 25,726.93 from 42,900. So the car is worth 25,726.93 after 4 years. It's always good to state out your answer clearly. Make it a habit. Next, we want to calculate wages and salaries. You know, different category of workers get paid differently. Some people get paid by the hour. So for every hour of work they put in, their wages or salaries are calculated based on that. So they have a basic pay. Some others get paid per project. I mean, you complete that project, you get paid for it, and that is it. Some people get paid overtime for putting in extra hours outside the normal working time. So these are different ways people are paid. In this example, we're told that a man works a basic week of 35 hours, and his weekly wage is £260. Work out his hourly rate of pay. That means in a week, he has to put in 35 hours of work. And for that 35 hours of work, he gets paid £260. We want to work out his hourly rate of pay. The hourly rate of pay will be the weekly wage, which is £260, divided by the basic week. The basic week is the number of hours he's supposed to work in a week, and that is 35 hours. So to calculate the hourly rate of pay, we have the weekly wage, which is £260, divided by 35 hours of work. We input that into the calculator, and we have 260 divided by 35. And that gives us 7.43. So he actually gets paid £7.43 for each hour of work. Let's look at another example. We are calculating wages and salaries. And in this next example, we want to calculate overtime pay. What is overtime? Overtime is when people work more than the required basic time they're supposed to put in to work. So for example, somebody is supposed to work for 20 hours, and you decide to work for 30. So the extra 10 hours, you don't get paid at the same rate for those extra 10 hours. You get paid more. Let's look at the example on the board. A factory hand is paid a basic rate of £3 per hour. So for every hour of work, the factory hand gets paid £3. Calculate the hourly overtime rate of pay when this is paid at time and a quarter. B, when it is paid at time and a half. And when it is paid at double time. What do we mean by time and a quarter and time and a half? It just means that you get paid a quarter extra of what you are supposed to earn for an hour. All right? So you get paid a quarter extra for that hour, for the extra hour that you work. But we must note that there must be an agreement or a policy. Companies have policies for their overtime rates. So you know that for every extra hour you put, you get your full pay for that hour plus a quarter extra or plus a half extra or plus the same amount. So you get paid double. That encourages workers to put in extra hours into work, which in turn leads to higher productivity in companies. So a lot of factories encourage their workers by paying good overtime rates. So in this example, we're going to calculate hourly overtime pay rate if it is time and a quarter. So we have agreed that time and a quarter means the actual amount plus a quarter of the amount. So for £3, overtime rate would be 1/4 times £3. And that will give us 5/4 times £3. And that will be equal to £15 divided by 4. 4 in 15 is 3, and that is 12. 15 minus 12 is 3. So 4 in 30 is 7, 28. Remember 2. And 4 in 20 is 5. So for every extra hour, instead of getting paid £3, the factory hand gets paid £3.75. That is time and a quarter. B, time and a half. So the pay is going to be 1.5 times £3. You change that to an improper fraction, and that gives you 3/2 times £3. And actually, half of £3 is £1.50. So we're just adding £1.50 to £3 to give us £4.50. So instead of getting paid £3 for an hour of work, because it's overtime, he gets paid £4.50. And then when the overtime rate is double, you're simply getting twice the pay. So that is 2 times £3, and that gives us £6. So like I said earlier on, companies usually use this incentive to encourage the factory workers to put in extra time. You'll find more examples in Brilliant Maths Module 2. Here we want to calculate taxes. You know, we pay all sorts of taxes. We pay property tax. We pay VAT, that's value added tax. You buy a product and the product is taxed. So you pay extra for buying it. In this example, it says Nancy's gross weekly wage is $479. She had deductions of $118.45 for tax. She was also deducted $19.30 for superannuation. What is superannuation? That is a contribution you make towards a fund. So that could be towards retirement or towards a project. And in addition, she paid $3.76 as union fees. Calculate 1, her net pay. Secondly, find the percentage of her gross pay that is deducted to the nearest 1%. So first, we are supposed to calculate her net pay. Gross salary or gross wage is the total amount you get before deductions. And the net pay is the amount you actually take home after the deductions. After all the deductions have been done, what you take away is the net pay. So solution, net pay is equal to gross minus deductions. To find the deductions, you add the various deductions. The $118.45 for tax plus the $19.30 that was paid to superannuation plus the $3.76 that she paid as union fees. So you add all of them together. And when you add the three of them together, you get $141.51. Next, you calculate the actual net pay. How much did Nancy take home at the end of the week? It's the gross, which is $479, minus $141.51. And the actual take home will be $337.49. Secondly, we are supposed to find the percentage of her gross pay that was deducted. So percentage deducted will be the actual amount deducted, which is the total deductions of $141.51 over the gross, which is $479.51 times 100%. So when you do that, input that into your calculator and multiply by 100%, you'll get 29.511%. We have been asked to find that to the nearest 1%. So that means to the nearest whole number. So 29.5 or 29.51 rounded to the nearest whole number gives us 30%. That means that Nancy actually pays out 30% of her salary or wages every week, and she takes home 70%. If 30% is paid out, then her actual take home is 70% of the gross. Very interesting, applicable to real life. For more examples, get a copy of Brilliant Maths Module 2. There are lots of exercises there for you to try out to help you really understand. Next, we want to look at household finance under consumer arithmetic. Under this subtopic, we have all kinds of household calculations: electricity bills, water bill, rent, and all sorts. But for this lesson, we want to look at hire purchase. What is hire purchase? Hire purchase is when you are able to buy an item without paying fully for it from the onset. And then the rest of the payment is split up depending on the terms agreed on by the buyer and the seller. In this example, a woman buys a set of furniture for £280. She pays a deposit of 25% and an interest of 20% is paid on the outstanding balance. She pays back the balance plus interest in 12 monthly installments. Calculate the amount of each installment. This is very interesting and very practical. She walks into the shop, she's buying a set of furniture. The furniture costs £280, but she does not have £280 to pay for it immediately. So she goes into an agreement. Pay a deposit of 25% and take the furniture away. Take it home. However, you pay an interest of 20% on the outstanding balance. Then you pay back the interest and the outstanding balance over a period of 12 months. So let's see how that calculation is done. So first, you're paying a deposit of 25%. 25% is a quarter. So a quarter of £280 is £70. So once that is done, an interest of 20% on the outstanding balance. So what's the outstanding balance? The outstanding balance will then be the costs minus the deposit. That's £280 minus £70, and that gives us £210. So that's the outstanding balance. She's going to pay 20% as interest. So 20% of outstanding balance, that's 20% of 210. We can do that mentally because 10% of 210 is 21. That's £21. So 20% will be £42. All right? Having done that, how much does she have to repay? She pays back the balance plus interest. So the outstanding balance of 210 plus the interest of £42, and that gives us £252. So that's how much she has to pay back. But how is she going to pay that amount back? She pays it back in 12 monthly installments. That means you divide 252 by 12 to get the amount she pays back each month. So let's see. 252 divided by 12. 12 into 25 gives you 2, which is 24. 24 from 25 is 1. So we now have 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. So she pays back £21 every month for 12 months. Hire purchase actually helps you break down your payment. It makes your payment easy. But the real truth is you pay much more for the product. For more examples, subscribe to brilliantmaths.com. Go there, register, tell your friends about it. There are lots of resources there for you. It will help you excel in math. And always remember that math is fun. Math is actually the easiest subject in school. It depends on how you are taught. Go to brilliantmaths.com and you will understand what I'm saying. I am Ngozi Orebogen. See you again soon.